but I remember your account last year, Ayhan. Did you cross 10,000 in November or was it in
No, I
December?
didn't. No. The last year in November, let me check. I think I did something like 8,300. Let me check. I did in November. I did 8,350,000. 8,350.
And Andrey, October you crossed 10,000 euros and now you're about 12,000 for November, or what is the projection?
Yeah, it should be just over 11,000 euros, yeah, this month.
How much?
11,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't see the boost yet. So it's normal growing for me. So November to October, I don't see anything different for now.
For me, it's a huge difference.
Yeah.
I think for the viewers, what would be interesting is learning about why you started. Let's take you, Andrey, first, why you started with self-publishing. I know you did another business before.
Yeah, I had a marketing agency, and I helped companies to find employees here in Austria and Germany, primarily. And then I did it for about 3 years, a little bit more, I guess. And then the problem was, since the Ukraine-Russia war, the companies weren't looking for that much of employees. They were rather kicking them out and were searching for new ones. And then the last year for us was hard, and we had made good money the year before and had a big stock of money, you know what I mean, and lived from that pile of money the whole year, and didn't make much money then. And then we last year in December we decided to cancel the project, to sell the company or delete the company. I don't know what it's called in English. But then my next goal was to build a publishing business, because I heard about publishing 4 years before from a YouTube video from German publishers, and I thought that's a really interesting and cool business model, but I didn't start it then. I only watched, I think, 5 or 6 YouTube videos. So that's a great idea, but I had other things to do back then. And last year in December, I decided, okay, I book a coaching. I bought a German coaching for around 5,000 euros, and then started a few days after Christmas and published the first book on the 3rd of January this year. And yeah, the intention behind it was that the publishing is something I can put my creativity in. I think I'm really great at doing the concept of a product, and planning to help the people get to their goals with a product. And books are the perfect product, I think, and I can do many books. So if you have an agency, you only have your agency and one product you're selling. But with books, I can do books for this target audience and for this and for this, and can play around a little bit. And yeah, that's why I think it's a perfect model for me personally. And in general, it's a great business. It's a unique business model. It's really great. Also, the passive income aspect. If it works one time, you can do it with, I think, an hour a week, and it will still, maybe not 5 years, but a year or two, it will be at the same level, I guess, and then slowly get down. But it's as passive as it gets, besides of investments like stocks or real estate. But even real estate, Ayhan, I think you know that isn't that passive than most people think.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not. I can tell you guys about my story as well. I I saw Peter at a showing. I was showing a property for Peter, and I got to know him from the showing. I work as a real estate agent for 5 years. I'm one of the best in Sweden, if you ask me. And I've been selling like 800 homes. I have done like maybe $3.5 million to myself in real estate. I mean, I don't know how you say commission, like $3 million or something like that. And I have invested money in real estate. I thought it was passive, but it's not. People are moving out. People are complaining about things, So yeah, it's not that passive. And the real estate agents, it's not easy. It's hard work all the time. You have to be, active all the time. People are calling. People are wondering things. Some seller wants this amount. The buyer wants to pay this amount. There's always a struggle to get them to find a solution. To sell the property. But publishing is much better because you do a good job and you will get a reward for that for a long time. And there's not the hunting. You don't have to hunt. I'm a salesman and a real estate agent, so I have to hunt, always for new customers. But if you do a great job with a book, you can, getting money royalties from that book for a long time. And it's great to work wherever you want, But it requires hard work, publishing as well, and you need money to make money. That's how it works with everything. But it's a great model, and because of Peter, I'm making almost $15,000 every month. So yeah, I'm happy. So yeah, it's going slowly, but it's worth it.
Yes. Yeah, and how much are you making currently with the real estate, roughly, per month?
How much I'm making every month for my real estate?
Yeah.
I think I'm getting like $250,000 every year from real estate, and I think after interest and stuff like that, maybe I'm making 20K. So
Yeah.
it's a difference, but in the long run, real estate investments is good. But if I listen, guys, if I would redo my life, I think I would have been started with the KDP since it got available for self-publishers, and I will only do that. But I didn't know about it, so it's because of you I started, and here we are.
Yeah. I also started, I think it was 5 years ago, I bought a real estate with 4 apartments. And it's, looking back, I wish I would have just published books instead. I put in maybe $150,000 and then as a mortgage, and then you get bank loan on top of that. But the work with real estate and the headache when the tenants don't pay, etc., it's much easier with just books. You do the work up front, and then you get paid recurrently if you do it right. We have
but sometimes one thing, sometimes you will have to do other things to understand what's best for you. And that's the thing with KDP, and we understand now, so we will just continue this business.
Yep. We have a question from Mr. Reborn. What is the recommended strategy for Amazon ads? Do you run a month of ads and then it should be settled as in the book being ranked, or does it work? No one will answer the question in this space. So I can start. You want to continue to run the Amazon ads, especially if they're profitable. Ayhan and Andrey, you can add on to this. In essence, yeah, keep going.
If ads work, let them run. So I never delete ads or put them down if they're working, and it's always a push. So every sale of an ad, it's good. So course, if the acres is over 80% or 100%, then it's not good. But if you have a profitable ads, then that is going on. Peter, a follow-up question. How's it with brands? I have a brand with 3 books in particular, and when I'm doing Amazon ads, I now have a higher acres than, so for every book in individual, I have a higher acres than it was when I only had one of the books. And it makes sense to me because they click on the ad, get on one of my books, and maybe buy another one of my books. But the ads can't track that. And now the last few months, I haven't put that much focus of the acres because I know, okay, at least the brand is selling, and maybe they click on the ad, the acres goes up, but they buy another book from me, and I make money. So how do you view the acres if you have a brand with many books, or many books with 3 books in my case?
That's a good question. And I think that's where tools such as Publisher Champ is very helpful, because we don't want to over obsess about the ACOS if we're seeing that it's making the overall profit is more, because especially if you have a series, then it will show up underneath the cover. So yes, they are most likely buying other books. So as long as the numbers are going up, I would definitely keep going, even though the ACOS is a bit higher.
Okay.
Mr. Reborn, Nonstop, yes, Nonstop, as long as it's profitable, as long as it makes sense that you're seeing a return on investment. Look at the overall picture, especially in the beginning. So because the more Amazon ad sales you get, the more sales you will also get in terms of organic sales. So the object isn't to establish a book, the ranking is just non-stop. Yeah, it's like if you put $1 in and you get $2 back, that's great. Of course, you can stop the ads, but then you're also decreasing the income that is coming in, especially if you're running the ads profitably. So a lesser ACOS that happens in traditional publishing when you put out 2 and 3, the first book gets a boost.
Yeah, maybe he can look at it like this. When you put down the ads, the spots you were paying for with the ads go now to other publishers, and they are doing ads and rank higher than your book, and then they sell, and they will also rank organically higher, and your book will slowly get down, and that's the problem. So as long as you're doing ads, you have the ad spots, and as long as you have the ad spots, your book is organically and on the ad side at the top of the search.
Yes. And if I just want to say something, one of the best when it comes to ads, I think Barry is one of the better people, and he covers everything when it comes to ads in the course as well, right?
Yeah, but Barry did several lessons on both Amazon ads and book covers inside the Trifecta. So yeah.
So in the course, everything is covered, and ads is a very important thing. So I think Barry, he does a good job with the ads.
Yeah.
I'll show what we're talking about right now a little bit. So inside the self-publishing Trifecta course, inside the scientific approach module, which is the first module of the Trifecta, it's all about data-driven analysis of how to create the optimal book and everything. And in there, Barry KDP has, oh no, actually it's in the branding mastery module, right?
No, it is in the scientific approach.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Up a little bit. Yeah, there.
Yeah. So Barry KDP, which some of the YouTube viewers might be familiar with, he's an expert on Amazon ads, and he's made pretty much a guest module for our course. And in there, he goes in depth on all the stuff inside Amazon ads, shows you everything in detail. There's also quizzes you can answer to every lesson to deepen your knowledge. Yes, sir. I will talk about more about the self-publishing Trifecta and the elite community later, but feel free to continue the conversation right now and keep answering. What is his name? YouTube guys, YouTube chat guys.
And Mr. Reborn. Right, also material from Amazon themselves, right on. Yeah, great to have you here, Mr. Reborn. Feel free to ask any more questions. Anyone else? We see we have a couple of people in the live chat. Feel free to join as well. Tell us where you're from, where you're at in your publishing journey. If there are any questions you have, let us know. We got 2 6-figure publishers and 1 7-figure publisher here to answer. And Andrey and Ayhan is also inside the Driven Publishers Elite.
As we talked about yesterday, I think it's very important to understand, to work on the business and not in the business. I think that's one of the most important things to understand when it comes to self-publishing.
Yeah, Andrey, you wrote an interesting question there to Ayhan's point there. Can you state the question there?
Yeah, I'm fighting with this right now. I now have 2 freelancers, but I have done everything myself. And now with your help, Peter, I'm starting to outsource my tasks, and I'm going to scale. And I now have with the freelancers 20 different things to manage each day. So it's not that I'm able to manage them, but every day after another, I feel that my energy level is sinking, and I think it's on a productivity front. It's not that intelligent to do as many different things a day. I think it's better to focus one day on this group of tasks and another day in this group of tasks. I think that module is more intelligent to do productivity. But I have to write with people on Facebook Messenger, for example, because of the test reading. I have to write them in the morning, in the evening at least, because I don't want to let them wait as long. I have to manage the freelancers, and that's more work than I expected, because they are faster than I expected, but it's a good thing. But I then have to make sure they have new work. If they're finished, they should immediately get new work. That's important, so that they don't look for another person they can work for. And all the things, as I said, are manageable, but I can't focus on the bigger picture. So I'm in the business and managing all these levels of the business, but not that in a creative zone where I can plan the next few months ahead.
Yes, so this is a problem of growth, which is something I recognize a lot. When you scale like this, like you're doing now, because you're increasing the volume of books and you're increasing the output and everything, it will get messy for a little while. But while you are going through this process, what I would do if I were in your shoes is I would ensure that I'm documenting as much as possible. I'm saving every message and every recording that you're making them into standard operating procedures, so that when this thing happens again, you can simply copy and paste. And then eventually, when you have all these materials saved, the next step would be to have someone else who manages the writers. And that I think the next evolution for you might be someone that even does the checking. So in my case, I have the editors that are checking the work from the writers. So that could be something that would let you get a lot more time back to focus more on the business. But it's a good problem to have in terms of how to prioritize. I would see, okay, in the morning, I'm going to focus on the most, the biggest task. Even though answering messages, yes, it's important to answer quickly. If you can do that in 10 minutes, fine. But besides that, you don't want to open any messenger app or anything like that. Just get straight to the big thing, which might be, in your case right now, it might be reviewing books, if that is what is requiring a lot of mental power. And then just push everything else. So I check messages three times a week. So Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And that has worked for me. Sure, sometimes people, especially if they're new, they might question, hey, I sent you a message on Upwork. Then I simply state, I answer messages Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then they learn. So you don't need to reply to everyone immediately. That's been my experience.
Yeah, okay, makes sense for freelancers. Another question is I have a great part of my time is on making the current books better. So if I get feedbacks from test readers or a review that's only 3 stars, for example, then that's, I think in my niche, it's good that on my books, there are very intelligent people buying the book, and the reviews are really honest. And I don't have one star or 2-star reviews. I only get, if it's a bad review, a 3-star review, because they really do a good detailed feedback what it is that isn't that good they think about the book. And I then can take this feedback and make the book better. But today I got a feedback of one of my best doing books. So the book does around $2,500 a month in royalties. And it would be bad if this book gets more 3-star reviews or even 2 or 1-star reviews, because then less people will buy it. And this is then I'm thinking, okay, let's focus to make the book better. But what his point was in the review is a real point, and also the thing that I see as the biggest weakness of my book. And to change that, I would need around 15 to 20 hours, I guess, next week to change the problem. And I can take the time, but then I would slow down, and all the other tasks I planned for next week would, for I think in two days I can manage that, to make that, and the other task wouldn't be left behind for, yeah.
Okay. If I were in your position, I would, because you're making a lot of money, sure, you are spending a lot of money because of the Amazon ads, and that's with KDP, you're getting a delayed in payment. But still, we can start to see what your time is worth. And I believe that it's worth more than $20 an hour. I think we can agree on that. So in that case, then we know that everything that you're doing that someone can do for $20 or below, that is actually costing you money. So I would look into, okay, can I find someone who can make these changes? Let's say they put 10 hours, that would be at $20 an hour, that would be $200. And then $300 if it takes 15 hours. So it is not that big of a price to pay, and you will then gain back those 15 hours. So that is how I would approach it, even though it will require some time to find this person, but you might get more scenarios like this in the future. And then all you need to do, instead of it taking you 15 hours, then it might be cut down to 1-2 hours, because all you need to do is double check. So they made the work good. Does that make sense?
Yes, but the problem is, if I do this on more tasks, then the liquidity is becoming a problem. Because in December, I will spend much on Amazon ads, also on Facebook ads, in my case. And I think December will be a great month, but it will also be an expensive month on the expenses front. And that's why I'm a little bit, I'm holding back my wallet.
Then it is a matter of balancing. Can you put in 5 extra hours per week? Then you have it done within 3 weeks. You have a revised version if you do it yourself. So maybe it's cutting out everything else, I suppose, if you're doing it yourself. Then just because eventually this will not be a problem. But it is a good problem to have. That's what I can say, because it's a sign of growth.
Yeah, as soon as the cash flow catches up, then I have more liquidity to get more freelancers.
Yeah.
But now I'm scaling every month, and then the expenses I have two months before I get the money, and it's beginning. It's a problem. I think if you are on a level where the growth isn't that huge every month, then it eliminates that negative effect of that the money comes. And I can also get an Amex credit card next year. So the company needs to be at least 1 year old, and then I have, I think, 25 more days on paying the credit card, and then it's only a few weeks I need to wait until the money from Amazon comes.
Yeah. No, these are great problems to have. It means that you have a system for creating profitable books consistently, and you know how to do it. So it's one of the better problems to have, for sure. Do you have any additional question, Andrey?
Not on this topic, but I would have other questions. But you can, if other people have questions, they can go before me if they want.
Ayhan,
See, we have.
Yep.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Tim.
I just wanted to say we have 9 people in the live stream chat right now. Feel free to ask questions. Don't be ashamed. Don't be shy. I think it's a good opportunity to get your questions answered right now for free, basically. So whatever question you have concerning publishing, if you face any roadblocks currently or any bottlenecks, feel free to ask your questions in the chat, or you can also join us in the Zoom call. Yeah, just a quick call to action, guys.
Yeah.
Feel free to continue what you wanted to say.
Yeah. Ayhan, do you have anything to add to the discussion we had with Andrey here?
I think if you are going to succeed with KDP, you should have like a team. And I have people who are doing smaller tasks like formatting and book covers and stuff like that. I have it on Fiverr, and the most important things of my team are the writers and the people who's helping me with ads, because I'm outsourcing everything because I can, and I want it to be like that, because I always say you let the best do what they or what they can. So yeah, so you need to have a team that's doing everything for you. And I think that's basically the most important thing of KDP, because you cannot do everything yourself. It doesn't work like that. You need to see it as a business and not like something. Why should you require design expertise and stuff like that when you have other people who you can pay for and they can do it? I think that's the most important thing, to work on the business and not in the business. That's my best suggestion for new people. And how do you get people in your team? Yeah, you should, you have to reach out, and so you will see which people who are doing good and continue with them. And if people are not doing good, you will have to search for others, So that is something that you have to understand if you want to make 10K or more. That's my suggestion. Yeah.
Go ahead, Andrey.
I get that's totally right, and I think you have a great point here. My problem with it a little bit is the freelancer part. because in my first business I had 2 employees, so in an office, real people that are working with me together and are employed by me. And I'm in the mindset of an employer that the people have to be here in an office. I have to coach them face to face. And with freelancers, it works with the 2 freelancers I have now, but I'm a little bit holding myself back when it's getting to more freelancers and manage them, and they are all around the world. So one is in India, the one is in Africa, for example, or in Philippines, and I don't know if I can coach these people right if they aren't here, but because I want them to be the best they can be in the task that they are performing.
But why coach? You shouldn't coach anyone. You should find people who is doing the things that you want, because there are people who are doing everything, you know, already. They don't need your coaching. You know, there are people. So which freelancers do you have a problem with that you want to coach?
Creating the books the way I create them, exactly the way that I doing them. I want to copy myself, for example, and so
I understand.
Yeah.
But you know, it should be enough with a guideline that shows you that, you know, can tell them what to do. So you have the guideline for that, and sometimes maybe it will be a great difference between her or the writer and your job, but in time, you know, it will be good. So
Yeah.
the guideline should be very clear, and so yeah. So I have never, you know, I don't. For me, you know, I believe in the writer, and sometimes you can you know, hire a writer, and you can check every 3,000 words.
Mhm.
So you have the control, you know, if maybe someone is not doing what you want, so you can try in the beginning to do 1,000 words and then check it and, you know, take it from there. But with a great guideline and clear structures, it should be as you want.
Yeah, makes sense.
I have hired about 700 plus people on my Upwork account, and in the beginning when I was hiring, I was very much trying to coach the person. I was giving feedback, and when they were doing a good job, I was saying you're great at this, etc. But what I learned was that eventually, if you try to coach them too much, it doesn't help, because if the base is not correct, then, or the base is not optimal, which means that their skill level, their conscientiousness, their determination, etc., then it doesn't matter how much I try to coach them or try to take them in the right direction. So then I went extreme after that lesson, because I was working for several years. I was working with people that I thought were good enough. They were doing their job, but I constantly had to give feedback, and sometimes the work wasn't delivered on time, but I trained them, so I didn't want to let them go. So then I did an extreme thing. After my account was terminated, I got rid of them. But also what I did was I started hiring 5 people for the same job. And I said, you all do this job. Let's say it was $5, $10. And then I would see who did the best job. And then based on that, I would then continue with the best one. And that is still what I do today. And inside the systems mastery, I have a method, and you can adjust these templates, for example, when you're hiring, and you can find ways, for example, when you're doing translations for books and you don't know the language, how can you still ensure quality? And that is by doing the method of hiring several people and then having an expert to judge, okay, this is good, this is not good, and then they rank them, and then you continue with that, and then you continuously check their work. And through doing that, then you will end up with what I believe is the cream of the crop, because the cream, it rises to the top. So that is what you want. You want to your hiring process to filter. And now I've changed a little bit, so now I've started doing calls with them beforehand, and I always look at the reviews, and if they're top rated, that's of course a plus. But even that's not a sure bet. So you want to analyze their work, and if you don't feel confident, for example, if it's another language, then you have another expert that analyzes the work. And so there are certain ways where you can ensure quality, even if you're not an expert in the topic or the language, for example. So, but I understand in your case, Andrey, you want to make the books in a very specific style, which you have laid the foundation for. So in your case, it's mostly about ensuring that the training material gets saved, it turns into a standard operating procedure, and that you don't need to train them manually by, for example, having a call, etc., every time you're training a new person.
You can try to make a system, Andrey, how to ask people the right questions, so you can fast see which freelancers are good for you. And you can ask ChatGPT which questions should I ask them to get the most of it on a short period of time. So I think that's a good way to fast outsource, which ones are right for you.
We have a question here on YouTube. I don't know if you've seen this issue on TikTok specifically. People buy coloring books on Amazon and then resell on TikTok shop. They sell for the price used to shipping to get profit. I haven't seen this. Have any one of you seen? Resell. But if they're buying your book on Amazon, then you are getting a profit.
Don't quite understand what the system they should be doing. They buy coloring books and then resell it.
I think it's meaning like they buy coloring books for, let's say, $5 and they're selling on TikTok for $7. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. So yeah,
never seen that.
That's a stupid thing, because then you have to chip it, and because I understand, like you get the book home, then you sell it. But yeah, like FBA, I don't know, but it doesn't matter.
Best way would be to just say your own coloring book on TikTok, basically.
Yeah.
But if they're reselling your book specifically, then you're still getting a royalty when that reseller is buying your book. So that's a good thing. I feel like this undermines the original seller. Then the TikTok third-party sellers use commissions to get people to post for people to make videos. Creators get commission, but it goes to the third party.
I will be back, guys.
Do you have any thoughts on this, Andrey?
Sorry, I was muted. I don't see that as a problem. If they buy the books and resell it, you make a profit. I think that's it. Or
yeah, I remember when I got terminated on Amazon KDP, I saw a high increase in the sales for IngramSpark. And I assumed that was because people were seeing that this book on Amazon that is very popular, it's getting out of stock, so we better buy it so we can resell it. So I remember I was very grateful for that big boost. For instance, I've seen it sell for $8.99. My royalty might be like $2, but then they are selling for $8.99 and the shipping is $8.99. So they're actually making money off shipping and the book. I have too little experience with TikTok Shop, but I also would assume that on TikTok, the customers who are on Amazon aren't necessarily on TikTok. So I wouldn't see this as a negative. And that person should be selling themselves on TikTok as well. clearly there's a market for that. From Mariana here on Zoom chat. Yes, that is a good idea. Still get a sale from it's Emeka. Feel free to join with the video, Emeka, if you're here. It's great to have you here as well. There we go. Welcome. Emeka, you're muted, Emeka. There you go.
Yeah, there. Regarding that TikTok thing, like there's a market on TikTok where that person's coloring books. So if they wanted, they could just go create a TikTok and do all that work and sell the books on TikTok as well. However, I think that's just such a waste of time. Like you pointed out, you got to ship it, you got to do all of that. I don't really know how that works with TikTok Shop, but Amazon makes it easy.
Yeah. That's great. Great to have you here, Emeka.
Yeah, man, I was just having some breakfast and then saw you guys doing this, so it's like
That's early in Mexico, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, for those of you who don't know, Emeka, he has been publishing. I think you started 2016. That's correct. And he started a YouTube channel. I think it was 2017, 2018, and you did the course My Self-Publishing Blueprint, and that entire course is now on YouTube. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's a little dated for sure, I'm guessing, but I guess some of the core principles still apply.
Yeah, definitely. So that's a great resource. And then you created the YouTube channel Driven Hard and grew that to 60,000 plus subs.
Yeah, I think it's somewhere around there.
That's great. Amazing. And you also are active in the Skool community, and you got the Trifecta as well.
Yeah, I love Skool, man. That's a cool platform.
Yeah, that is.
It's neat. Can I ask, is it Andrey?
Yes.
Hey, man, nice to meet you. So you only do ebooks. I'm so curious about your thought process behind that.
What? Only ebooks?
Yeah, I thought I saw you post that you really only focus on ebooks. You don't do
No, I
paperbacks?
do only paperbacks. I do no ebooks. I think
Oh, okay. Man, that makes way more sense now. Okay, I had it way around. My apologies.
no problem. Yes, I haven't done ebook, a single ebook. Only
Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. I was like, what's this guy doing with just ebooks? What's he doing? That's so different. But okay, makes way more sense now. Thanks.
Okay,
but it's great to meet you. In the Skool group, we wrote a lot.
Yeah. We chatted a little bit.
All right. Great. Do you have any questions, Andrey? You had some more questions, or?
Yes. Small questions, but on launching in December is one question. Does it make sense? Because in Germany, many publishers say that it doesn't make sense to publish in December because of the Christmas season and all of the books that are there already are listing good, and the ad prices are so high, and launching in that period of time can be dead for the book, because in the launch phase, which is very important for book, it don't get the reach it could get if you launch, for example, in January.
I can tell you my thought process and what I do. So for my main brand, I keep going because I'm consistent with the books that I'm publishing. But for the other books, usually for week 50 to 51, 52, I don't publish, and instead I wait so I can publish it in 2025, because then you get that new year. So that is what I do, and it does make sense that perhaps December is not the optimal month to publish. It's better in November.
Okay, late November also. So I'm going to publish next week Is that a problem or?
I think if you can get reviews on them fast, I think it's maybe it's a good idea.
Okay.
Like I have 2 books that I've held off and I'm not publishing until January because of that reason. It's just it kind of takes away the focus from the main books that are making the money right now. And the chances of a book that I publish right now surpassing some of the well-established books in December is just the probability is so low, right? So it's like, well, you might as well launch it properly and follow your launch plan, and not try to rush it out to try to just grab some of those holiday sales, because you might be like, what's that saying? You know, walking over dollars, picking up dimes, or forest trees, or one of those sayings that you're missing the bigger picture.
Yes.
So
yeah, it's not about the holiday sale, it's just about speed, I think. The sooner I publish, the more focus I can do on the next book, and faster publish more books. Just as a speed thing, I think. But
yeah, you know, if you do it the right way,
yeah,
that gives you a better ROI than just trying to pump it out. So
yes, I also think it would make more sense in January. Yeah.
I have like I think I have like 30 books that are waiting to get published, and I think it's worth like maybe $25,000 that I have spent on these books that are not published, because I need reviews on them, and I cannot just publish and hope for the best. So I'm waiting to other books to get reviews and get sales, so I can take the next one.
Yeah, your reviews is a bottleneck, but I'm testing a Facebook ad strategy for now, and maybe that could solve the problem, because then only money would be the bottleneck. And I have a strategy that works, but then you have to pay around $25 to get a review. And if you want 100 reviews, then you would have to pay $2,500. And if you have the money, that it's a strategy that works, and it works perfect, because you get really great reviews, because the people make photos, they make videos, you are in direct contact with them, you write with them in the messenger, and they love the book because they have the contact to you. They know you, they write with you, you are like a friend for them, in some sense at least. And you're getting great reviews, but it takes time and money, because you have to send. They buy the book, and you reimburse them via PayPal, for example. So you have a test reader, and they then read the book. But if you can do this method without giving them the money back, or just have an ebook version of the book, and then they review it, maybe that. So I'm working on something for that, but it's far ahead.
Because correct me if I'm wrong, but if they buy the book and you refund them, isn't that getting a little iffy with Amazon and their policy?
No, it only gets if you pay them more, and if you have something like so it's completely. If you look at Amazon, there a sentence where they allow to get test readers.
Okay.
Explicitly, you can give people the book for free, so that they can give you feedback on the book. So that's it. I don't require them to review the book. That would be a problem.
Okay.
If I say you have to review the book, then it's a problem. But I say I gift you the book, and if you like it, you give me personally a feedback. That's the requirement. And then if you review it, it would really help me if you review it, but it's not a requirement.
And most people
want
to help you.
Yes.
So they, okay. That makes more sense, man.
Welcome, Paul Jenkins.
Yeah.
Welcome, Paul.
Once again. Great to have you here.
Really, really happy to be here as well. I've been working through the Trifecta. Great stuff.
Great to hear.
Yeah.
Tell me where you're at currently.
I just got down to, I'm just starting the niche section, which I'm really interested to see how you approach that. And yeah.
Yeah, it's great to see your posts inside the community as well about the risk versus excellence, etc.
Yeah, yeah. No, it is so tempting just to run with the AI stuff. It really is. But
Yeah.
you know, I can tell you guys the book I'm about to put out. Actually, it's called 365 Promises I'll Never Keep. Is the title of the book, and the idea basically is that, of course, AI, you know, if it's humor, it doesn't matter in a way, right? Whether it's accurate or not. That's kind of the point. But the way I rather stupidly structured it as a day by day through 2025, you know, and it's aimed at women entrepreneurs. That's the target audience, right? And basically each entry, it's a bit like Bridget Jones' Diary. Each entry goes intention, reality, what I'll do instead. Yeah. And what I found was AI is absolutely fantastic at cranking out. I mean, if you tell it the tone, I said, you know, make it sassy and snarky. It's actually really, really good at picking out, you know, really quite funny copy, actually, to be honest with you. But then the problem is that it then starts to attribute the wrong dates to things like London Fashion Week, or I don't know, you know, and so you have to like rigorously check every single bloody date, you know, to make sure that it's not gone off the reservation.
Yeah, that's what I find as well. It can produce such great work, but the facts are sometimes incorrect, and sometimes it hypes things up. If you're doing a description, maybe it mentions something that isn't included in the book, etc. So you need to be there as a human to double check it. But it's very good in making text better, giving suggestions, analyzing, and giving ideas as well.
Yeah. No, it's what I experimented with was trying to bounce, to use Gemini, for example, as a copy editor. So to take a draft from, say, Claude, put it into a different LLM and say, right, you're a copy editor, you know, basically, or developmental editor, you know, how would you improve this? Then taking suggestions and taking them back into the original LLM and saying, oh, yeah, it's not so good. Maybe you could improve this. And so basically trying to bounce it backwards and forwards to, you know, to improve the manuscript, which worked pretty well. But as I say, the problem is then you really do have to like go through with a tooth comb and just like pick, and you know. So I really appreciated your lecture actually about the kind of, you know, the you know, the matrix of excellence and you know, safe.
Yes.
Because I might have been tempted to take a little bit of a flyer on it, and I think I've, you know, kind of pulled up short.
Yeah, I think Emeka, you've been publishing for a long time as well. Similar to me, I assume you've seen a lot of strategies, loopholes, starting with the 10x strategy that was back in 2016, where people were inflating their books, and then they put a link in the beginning of the book, and then took it to the end of the book, and then they got paid for all those pages. That was one crazy method. Yeah, and there were some on YouTube saying we're making $10,000 a day. And I remember one guy, he said, we're too small. They're never going to find us. Like, Amazon is too big to care. But of course, like 1 week after that, Amazon put down the hammer and they removed all those accounts. And we've seen several strategies or loopholes come up. And some publishers, they use it. But from my experience, it's never a good long-term strategy. What is your thoughts there?
Yeah, no. Anything like, I think we've learned so well that, you know, anything black hat or a short-term tactic is it's just not good. Like, the goal is to have these accounts sell and make money for decades down the road, right? Like, you don't want your account to be closed in 2 years. You know, it's when you go off and, you know, life's changed and you start working on another business, you want your Amazon account still paying you $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month, and you're not doing anything with it. I think that's the goal. And in order to do that, you have to play by the rules. You have to be smart. You have to protect your account at all costs. And I know, especially for maybe new people, it could be tempting to, you're going through and you're looking at, what some of the books are selling, and you're like, but that's kind of not legit. Or my biggest frustration is when I see AI books killing it. And when I buy them and I read them, right, because they're in my niche, and I read them and I'm like, oh my God, this is hard. Like, it's just like they've done no editing, they've done no proofreading. They just literally copy and paste it from chat, and it's like at 2,000 in this bookstore. Right. And I'm like at 30,000, and I've like edited mine and done everything the right way, and they're just killing it. It's like, will they be killing it in a year? No.
That's the question.
Will I? Yes. I will be patient. And that is the biggest struggle I personally face, because I know I could pump out a quick book in no time and, throw some money on ads and do that. But then what's going to happen over 12 to 18 months when a lot of people start leaving bad reviews? Book dies, right? So.
And even if you're disclosing, for example, back in, I think it was 2018, 2019, a lot of publishers, they did Google translated books, and they simply pasted the translated version and they published it, and they wrote in the description that this is machine translated. But Amazon didn't care, because the readers, not all readers will read the description.
Oh, Gerald. Well, think about how bad Google Translate was back then.
Yeah.
Right. Google Translate's bad today. It was horrible back then.
Yeah, so definitely it's thinking long term. Okay, I still want to have my account 1 year, 2, 3, 4 years from now. That's how we want to think. Andrey, do you have? Yep.
Can I say something? I see Gerald. He's joining the Zoom meeting, and I've been listening to you, man. Gerald, I was listening to
Hey
you.
guys, what's up? It's a pleasure to be here also. Hey,
Nice
how
to
you
see
guys
you,
doing?
man.
Likewise, man.
Nice to see you.
Great to see you. We met in
Yeah, I
2019.
like your videos.
It's been a while. It's been a few years, man. Time goes by really fast, especially in the publishing world.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Are you a fighter, Gerald? Are you fighting MMA?
No, just jujitsu. Just
I can see
jujitsu.
on
I
your
have
ear.
taken
I
a
can see in
little
your
bit
ear.
of. Oh, really?
Yeah,
Nice.
cool. Cool. Cool.
Need to get back in the gym also. I think Peter also is doing a lot of MMA, right?
Yeah,
I
he
saw
did. He
some
did.
photos and stuff like that.
Muay Thai, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Great to have you all here. We're all, I would say, advanced publishers. Paul, you're advanced in documentary films. Is that correct? I got you.
Yeah. I directed documentaries for about 25 years. And sort of doing all sorts of crazy shit around the world. But and then did a bit of book narrating for a while. So I was actually narrating audiobooks for a bit. Online courses, I've done a few. I've wanted to go into book publishing for a long time, actually. But about eight or 9 months ago, I thought, right, okay, let's really get serious about this now. And so for about last 6 months, I've been really digging in. So Gerald, I've been watching your videos on YouTube as well, and Peter, I've been tracking for several months, and I've joined several communities and just trying to, as usual, just trying to hoover up all sorts of stuff. But I also know from previous activity with web publishing how much the kind of the scaling plan matters. It really is, and so for me that's the essence of this. It really is. And for example, my wife and I, we took a website from 0 to almost 500,000 visitors a month, actually, in about a year. And then along with 40% of the internet, we got hammered by Google in March of this year. So,
Okay.
but yeah, that really, and we're still doing very well with the site because we're getting traffic from Bing, right? And so in fact, financially, the site's still doing pretty well. But it was a real wake up lesson to the stuff you teach, actually, Peter, about just being super, super, super careful and trying to preserve the account.
Yeah.
But I must admit, I mean, my brain is thinking, well, okay, do I set up potentially several companies here in the UK where it costs $25 to set a company up, right? And potentially spread KDP accounts across 2 or 3 companies, maybe to try and diminish the risk. I don't know if anyone's done that.
I think once you reach a certain profit threshold, it's good to think about that type of diversification. But yeah, I don't know. That's just my take on it.
I think in the beginning, at under $10,000 a month, I would just keep going on one account. Doesn't even 30,000. If you do it right, then even if something happens to your account, from what I've seen in most cases, people are able to get it back as long as they can get a hold of the right person, or they have services as well that can help you get the account back. So the main focus should be on making sure that we're doing everything right.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I don't intend to play any kind of stupid games.
I think it's a good rule of thumb. I always tell people, it's like, just have I believe it's like 6 or 7 grand for an Amazon lawyer. I think that's usually what the going rate is, who will get your account back pretty successfully. So it's like, when you're making money, have that money in a separate account. So if something does happen, you don't panic, you don't freak out, you have that money, you can go pay the lawyer and let the lawyer do the thing. And most times I've seen people get their accounts back when they haven't broken any rules or done anything completely stupid.
Yeah, actually, that's really good to know for me, because for me, it's not so much the financial thing, to be honest with you. It's more the time investment, because it's like when you're putting, in my case, I'm 59, when you're putting literally 80 to 90, even 100% of your time for months and months and months and months and months, you kind of want to know that, okay, if the worst happens, actually, what is the what is the option? Kind of where do you go?
There's I don't know if you know this, Paul, but there are lawyers who specialize with Amazon. It's what they do. So just like a divorce lawyer or whatever, it's yeah.
I think one interesting thing would be to hear from you, Gerald, regarding AI, because I know that you are well versed in AI currently. How do you ensure the quality for the books with AI? What is your advice there?
Well, you can have a VA teacher on how to. Basically, the biggest roadblock for me has been 2 things: reviews. But once we get past the review stage, then it's hiring an editor, right? An editor, I think, would be like the biggest thing to have, that is actually the most important for quality in the long term. Now, if you can get an editor that knows how to do AI prompting for revision of manuscripts, and she can give better feedback to your writer, I think that is probably the best thing you can do to avoid any AI problems and still get a lot of books out in scale. So guys, for instance, have you guys tried the new Dibly Create AI service, the AI manuscript Dibly Create service? Yeah. Basically, you pay like $1 for $1.70 for 100 words. So it's much cheaper than a normal human manuscript. And they do a really good job at presenting it to you. But you still want an editor to look at that and to, give suggestions and humanize it even a bit more. So if you can do the combination of the 2 things, do AI manuscripts so you can get them done really fast with this humanizing service that Dibly provides, and at the same time have a really good editor that actually knows really good English, who will talk and give that back and forth with the writers, I think you can scale pretty much infinitely. It's just basically your money at that point. Like, how much money do you have to invest in so many books at the same time?
Mm.
Yeah,
Gerald, are you using the Urban Writers service through Dibbly? You know, because Dibbly are part of Urban Writers, I think, right? Are you using their editors or?
Yeah, they have. I mean, so basically what they do is that they generate the manuscript with AI. Then their job is to humanize it. But even then, the humanization is not that good. So you want on the side like a main editor who will be managing the urban writer's profile. Like she will be uh, basically the point of contact they have with you, and ideally she will correct whatever the editor is doing. Right. So you want an editor of the editor.
Okay, that's very interesting. I haven't checked out Dibbly, but what is the rate for a book, roughly? Let's say 30,000 words.
So yeah, so 30,000 words has always been like maybe like a month or 45 days. Now it's probably around 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. It still takes a little bit of time, but it's just much fast. It's still a bit faster, and it's half the price of what it usually was before when it was all human. So it's almost half the time, and it is about half the price.
Okay.
That's for their package where they use AI and they have a writer and editor as well. So
Yep, that package. Yep.
We have a question here on chat. Hello guys, thanks for the live. How to get a free ISBN? So if you publish on KDP, you get a free ISBN. Otherwise, if you're in the US, IngramSpark, I think you can get free ISBNs, but otherwise you buy it. Any other thoughts on that?
Canada, you get one through the government, super easy. I think India was the same, but I can't remember. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've bought ISBNs in the UK, and it's very much a scaling game because you pay super expensive if you buy a few. Then if you buy in bulk, you pay. It ends up being about $1 per ISBN. But yeah, to be honest, every single book I'm doing, I'm sticking my own ISBN on it, and just to reserve the right to go wide with those books later on if I want to.
Yeah. Do we have any more questions? Andrey, do you have any questions that you had?
I have a question. What's everyone's take on expanded distribution? What I've been doing is using IngramSpark for expanded distribution. But is that like it used to be a really big thing back in the day? I remember that, but now it doesn't seem to be as much.
I always select expanded distribution for my books.
On KDP?
Yes, on KDP, I do that.
Okay.
So
No one else uses Ingram for that?
I did sometimes in the past I did not select expanded distribution on KDP, and then I published the paperback on IngramSpark, but then some of the books were not going through on IngramSpark, and then I simply kept the expanded distribution on KDP because it still goes. So I think I did it because of a simple process, but I assume it makes sense to do IngramSpark as well if you want to diversify.
Well, because you can't have it on both. And my understanding was IngramSpark had a much better expanded distribution reach.
Yes. Yeah, you can have it on KDP as long as you don't select expanded distribution.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I didn't know that. So you can do expanded distribution. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, sorry, Gerald.
Okay.
Go ahead, Gerald.
So you can't have expanded distribution if you're doing IngramSpark at the same time? Is that it?
So if you publish your book on KDP and you select expanded distribution, when you try to put your book on IngramSpark, it'll say the ISBN is already being used. And so what you have to do in that case is uncheck it on KDP, and then there's a form you fill out on Ingram, and then Ingram will contact Amazon and request for the expanded distribution use of that ISBN to be brought over to Ingram. And then you can publish it through Ingram and their expanded distribution program.
With an Amazon ISBN or with or with your own?
No, it's my own. Like they're my own ISBNs.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't do that with Amazon's ISBN, the free one.
I got a question, guys, about that. Some of my books, maybe 50 to 60%, they they cannot be, they don't have that thing, Why?
It is because it's going through IngramSpark and then it's being blocked on IngramSpark side. So that is why it's not, that's why it's been deselected for expanded distribution.
Or do you mean on KDP, you don't even have the option?
I mean on KDP,
Yeah.
KDP.
So that might have to do, I think there's certain book sizes, like trim sizes, that are not allowed for expanded distribution. It'll tell you right above it that, oh, your title's not enabled or your title's not allowed for expanded distribution. Learn more.
Yeah, but I think in Ayhan's case, he is selecting the correct, it's more so that they're being deselected after the fact. So he is selecting it when he's publishing, but then when he goes back and looks, correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah.
Ayhan, then it has been deselected.
Oh. Oh, no idea.
They're crazy. But I have like 200 books, right? And Peter and you guys, should I, start my own account on IngramSpark as well, or what do you say?
100%. 100%. 100%, man. It's free money.
And you, Peter, what are you saying about this answer?
I think it's about time, yeah.
Is there any doubt in your mind? Like, is there any reason why you think?
No, Peter, can you tell this guy? Tell this guy.
Yeah, the thing is, since we're not in Canada and US, we have to pay for the ISBNs, and we wanted to keep the process simple, so we simply stayed with KDP. But now you have a
makes sense.
Yeah, now you have quite a large amount of books, so it makes sense to go Ingram.
Well, and I assume you're making decent money.
Usually between 12 and 15,000 every month.
12 and 15,000. And
yeah.
How much is buying 100 ISBNs going to cost you? Like a couple $100?
I don't know. I have never done that. I don't even know how to do it.
Right?
It would be, £1 per code if you do that. But
Okay.
I think 100 codes, if I recall correctly, were £450, right?
Okay.
And then 10 codes were £99, and one code was bloody 40 quid.
Oh, but
So
the
scaling thing on it is crazy. But what I found was I did actually try listing one of my books on IngramSpark, and I did find it a little bit arduous, the whole listing process through Ingram. And so at the moment, I'm just going to focus on KDP. And then if I get a real winner on KDP, then I'll put it across onto Ingram. Just kind of slowly move into them like that. But
well, Paul, check this out. Some of the books that don't sell on KDP for me take off on Ingram. I don't know why.
Interesting.
So yeah, like I have one book on there that it's not doing anything really on KDP, but I make money with it on Ingram. And no idea why. I can't figure it out. So but yes, the uploading your book on Ingram is a pain in the butt compared to the seamless process that Amazon has with KDP for sure.
Okay.
I think I'm right in saying that through Ingram, you get the books into libraries as well as bookstores. And like I went to into a local bookstore here. I live in the southwest of England. It's a country area, and there were several books in there that were absolutely clearly KDP books, basically, or independent publishers who had basically somehow worked their way into physical bookstores. It was really interesting to see because even a year ago, I don't think I would have seen that.
I've noticed something with the books on Ingram is that maybe because they don't have reviews in Ingram, people just buy them because of whatever niche they're in. So even books that I've published many years ago that were not the best books in Ingram, they still sell very well today. And I'm not proud of these books, right? But they sell, so I just don't mind. I just have them selling all the time, even though in Amazon they've been dead for years. So I think, yeah, what Emeka is saying, I think is what I've also experienced.
Yes,
The other
there's
bottleneck I saw on Ingram was that I think that generally speaking, you have to offer a 55% wholesale discount, right, on the price of the book. When you actually end up doing the pricing for the book, I found at least I was having to price, I think it was at least $2 or $3 higher for the Ingram, listing than I would for the KDP.
Okay. So this is this is the part I always get confused on, Paul. And right now, a couple weeks ago, I started experimenting with a book that I know is doing well on KDP, and I put it on Ingram, and I put it at the 55%, because normally I don't. Normally, I just don't put it as a discount, right? But then you can also raise the price a little higher. So there's this thing called the buy box on Amazon, right? Do we all know how that works? So it's like when you go and click buy now, there might be a couple sellers listed that are connected to that buy box, right?
Mm.
So one might be your KDP account. One might be like some third-party seller, which we want to try to avoid at all costs. But one might be your book from IngramSpark. Okay. Now, when you click on the buy box, your sale gets recorded, but that might go directly to IngramSpark and you're paid via IngramSpark, or it might go directly to KDP. If you have your book priced at like say $19.99, and for some reason Ingram is getting your buy box, KDP might discount it because it's priced a little lower on their end or something like that. Right? I have books on Lulu. I have them priced at like $40 because they're high, their color and but they're selling for like $24, $27 on KDP, but I'm getting paid via Lulu for them. So I don't understand how it works or why or how to control it. But yeah, there's I don't know, does anyone else have insight on that whole wholesale discount? Like, is it proven to get you more sales if you use the 55% that's recommended by IngramSpark, or does it not really make a difference? Or if you raise your price higher to compensate for the higher discount, do you end up making more still?
That would be an amazing analysis if someone can do.
It's a lot of work. Yeah.
Yeah. We have a question. Sorry, I'm new to IngramSpark. I sell activity books on KDP. So activity books, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I don't think they are approved on IngramSpark, or lower or medium content books. And then is KDP interior same as for IngramSpark? Yes, it's the same format. The setup on IngramSpark is a little bit more complicated, but otherwise it's the same. How are you running marketing your IngramSpark? This is another thing that would be interesting if someone could provide feedback. I saw that IngramSpark have Amazon ads, or ads rather. I got connected, but I've never tried them. If someone of you have tried them, let me know. That would be
I tried them.
You try them? Oh, okay.
Only once. It was years ago. It's a newsletter. It's not ads. It's like a promotional newsletter that they feature your book in. It was horrible.
Okay.
I don't know if anything's changed since then. I tried it once and said never again.
Okay. So marketing on IngramSpark, it's I haven't seen any specific strategy in terms of that. Yeah. Do we have any more questions, either from the Zoom or from YouTube? I'm thinking that otherwise Tim can show a little bit inside the Trifecta, see how it looks.
Sure, I would love to. We have been talking about the Trifecta, it has been mentioned here and there. And let me share my screen and show you what it's all about. I think most people here inside the Zoom call you already know about it. Most of you are already members, as far as I know. Can you hear me? Yeah, right.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, all right. So the Trifecta, the self-publishing Trifecta is the course, and this is combined with our Driven Publishers elite community. Maybe you're familiar with our Skool community. This is pretty similar. It has some extra features though. Basically, one of the cool features is the calls. Basically what we are doing right now, but we are just doing this for a limited time right now. And in our group calls, you have also the chance to ask all your questions. You have the chance to pre-submit your questions. You also, if you are a member of the community, you have continuous access to Peter, for example, or other coaches as well. Andrey is also a coach inside our community through WhatsApp. So you basically have a 24/7 Q&A session like we are having right now, where you can ask all your questions, basically. But let me get to the course. The main course is the self-publishing Trifecta. We have 2 bonus modules to the Trifecta, which is Systems Mastery. I'm going to go into the Trifecta in a second, but Systems Mastery is basically all about building a system around your publishing business, enabling you to scale your publishing business, outsourcing, and more. The 7-figure publishing framework is all about how to think like a 7-figure publisher. And Peter is maybe you're not familiar with this channel at all and you just land on this live stream to the algorithm. Peter is the 7-figure publisher who created this course. So in these courses, there's a lot of valuable knowledge you probably can't find anywhere else. We also have a Facebook ads course, which teaches you how to promote your books on Facebook ads. It shows you how to set up your ads account from A to C, basically. So from start to finish, you see the complete process. We also have another course here, which is the Publish Elite course. One feature of our community, if you're a member, you have access to our own software solution exclusively for self-publishers, which enables you to create lead magnets for your books. Probably you know what a lead magnet is. Basically a landing page which allows you to offer bonuses to your readers. If you're I'm explaining this, if you're completely new to publishing and watching this stream right now, you can create email lists through the software. You can build your ARC list. Everything is automated. Feel free to check this out. Yeah, all the group call sessions will be recorded. And let me jump into the Trifecta real quick. This is the main course, which when you join, you have lifetime access to this. So you can take your time. You see it's 99 lessons, but we have to add, it's after every lesson, there's a quiz. I'm gonna go into more what that quizzes do in a second.
Gerald, one question. Gerald, have you bought this course?
The Trifecta, no, not yet. I wanted to
time,
learn
my
more
brother.
about it.
It's time. It's time for the next level, brother. Okay?
It does seem very powerful, man. It
Yeah.
looks very powerful.
You have a lot of experience, but it will be great for you.
Yeah, definitely. I do want to know a bit more though.
Basically, overall, it's like, I think around 15 hours, or I think with the Facebook ads course, it's even more. It's around, but just going with Peter's lesson, it's around 15 hours, I think, of highly compressed, high-level knowledge. And yeah, you see right here, this Trifecta alone is 99 lessons, but nearly half of them are quizzes to each lesson. But it's basically consisting out of 3 modules or 4 modules if we count the onboarding as well. The onboarding gives you a smooth introduction to the course, so you're ready and set up. And the scientific approach is basically teaching you a data-driven approach to self-publishing, to creating a book. It also contains lessons on Amazon ads. You might know Barry KDP if you're watching on YouTube right now. Barry KDP has created guest modules on book covers, and another one is he's going really in depth into choosing the colors, choosing the fonts, teaching about color theory, contrast and stuff. And as you know, people judge a book by its cover. Some people say it's not true, but it's most definitely true. And yeah, Barry KDP has also done guest lectures on the Amazon ads part. That's one of his specialities. And Peter goes about the scientific approach, basically goes over every component of a book, how to do it perfectly. And his experience is, you can really trust his experience, as his results show, and also the results he has gotten for Ayhan and stuff. You've probably heard this in other videos of us, of Peter. Yeah, the next module in the self-publishing trifecta is called the Greenfield Publishing Strategy, which is all about finding a unique angle of finding niches. It contains 3 videos. It's 3 longer videos, or I think 2 videos are over an hour, where Peter basically does live niche research, but not just doing it live and talking stuff. It's compressed high quality knowledge into 1 hour. It's a prepared video, so he's not doing it live freestyle. It's a prepared video. It's incredibly valuable knowledge. There are $1 million case studies going over some of the top books and what their strategy behind that was. Yeah, discover how you can find untapped niches, untapped opportunities. Then in the last module in the self-publishing trifecta, I went back one too far, give me a second. It's called the branding mastery module, which is all about building a brand for your publishing business. This also teaches how to, building a brand basically is the foundation of building a long-term successful publishing brand. And Peter is really experienced in this. Peter might tell you more about this in a second, but this is all about building a brand. It's also hours of content and many quizzes. It also goes into social media, how you can promote your book via social media, how to start your social media brand. Peter also has a YouTube channel for his brand where he's gotten over, I think, 400,000 subscribers. It's about what to send your email list. You will also find a little lesson to the Publish Elite tool in here. Yeah. Feel free to say more about the trifecta. The creator can also always give some more information.
Oh, I think it's interesting how the trifecta came to be, because I didn't want to create something that is already out there in terms of courses. There's no point in making a course on how to publish books. So I wanted to distill what I believe are the core lessons and the method that I'm using currently to produce books that are profitable consistently into a framework that is easy to understand and it's simple to follow, and that removes the guesswork. So, and I do believe that, for example, yes, you can validate everything perfectly, but if you're doing the same thing as everyone else, that's not the best use of your time and money. But then another problem is that a lot of people go the creative route and they do something where they think the idea is great, but they don't validate it. And when you combine this two, you validate it and you're creative, meaning that you're complementing the market, then you're already doing 2 of the most powerful strategies in my mind. And then when you combine it with building a brand, which means that you're creating a snowball effect where everything grows and compounds on itself, just like you're rolling a snowball. The bigger it becomes, the easier it gets to roll, more snow attached to it, etc. That is what you want in the long term, because if you look at, for example, Empire Flippers, you see that books that have a brand associated with it, those have a higher multiple. So the idea is to lay the foundation correctly and then use the optimal strategies for succeeding in the long term.
for your explanation, Peter. By the way, if you're interested in joining the elite community, you will find a link under this live stream, of course. The first link, if you're rather new to publishing or are not sure yet if you want to join the elite community, you can also feel free to join the free Skool community. Inside the free Skool community, we also have a complete essentials course which basically teaches you the basics of self-publishing. I think the ISBN stuff is also a topic in some of these, in one of these videos. I'm not 100% sure. It's been a while since I've watched them. But basically, if you have basic questions, you will also find them answered here in the free course. But of course, feel free to check out the second link in the description as well. In this video, you will also find out more about the self-publishing Trifecta course again, about the community, and then you can go ahead and you can apply to the German Publishers Elite. You will be either qualified or disqualified. When you're qualified, you will also find more information about the pricing, etc. But we price it much cheaper than we initially thought. And to be honest, in my opinion, this is a complete steal. So it's a lot of value for not that much money. And you can, I think you did the calculation. If you can, I think it's in the other video.
It's like if you increase it by $50 a month or something, because you need to see it that you're building a business value, and if you sell it for a 30x multiple, how much is that? So that is how I would look at it.
So yeah, feel free to check out. We also can see Andrey here, who's in the group call right now. Feel free to check out the links in the description of this live stream. Yes, sir. Emeka's looking really critical on the screen right now.
Yeah, tell us, Emeka, what are your thoughts?
Sorry. I was inside your community reading all the posts because I totally forgot about that community.
Yeah.
And so I was just catching up and reading some of the
we launched a couple days ago. It's now live, and
so yeah, I was like, oh man, I've been missing out. So okay.
Yeah, Andrey, you said it felt like the launch came a little bit out of the blue. So maybe a few other people feel that as well. I could have done more in terms of preparing.
Apparently. As I said, YouTube live stream. If you still have questions, you can also still ask questions. We are ending this shortly, I believe. But yeah, if you have any questions about the Trifecta, how is it different from other courses? Also, I might just ask that question, Peter. How is the Trifecta different from other self-publishing courses?
That's a good question. From what I've heard from people that have gone through it, is that it focuses more on. It's a little bit more advanced, so I would say that is the primary difference. And I think also of course, that you usually get as well, but I think the support component that we built, how it's built according to a very useful model that I've used in another program or am using, for example. So I see that this works in terms of getting results. So it's programmed, or it's designed to help you in what I believe is the most powerful way to get results.
I would confirm that. So it's not just a basic publishing course which teaches you the basics. It's really advanced and teaches you how to scale your publishing business, essentially how to build your own empire, self-publishing empire. And the branding aspect is really, we had a survey before we launched the program, and many people were missing the branding aspect, I think. And this course really delivers on the branding side as well.
Yeah, I also think the most basic things you can learn via YouTube videos. So many publishing courses are just another form of the YouTube videos, but in an order, and they look better and such things. But by the Trifecta, the content of the videos is completely different. You don't get that from a YouTube video because it's really in depth and it's like they said, advanced. It's not basic. It's also, if you are a newcomer to publishing, it's also great because you learn it from the beginning the right way. And if you have questions on beginner things, you can watch YouTube videos or you can ask questions in the community and in the WhatsApp group. So it's just focuses more on things that aren't available for free, and it's not just another course that's most courses, as I said, are just courses that are YouTube videos in a better order, in my experience. And that's not bad, because the ordering is very important. And if you have, for example, Barry's or Peter's YouTube channel and build a course out of that YouTube videos, and some people watch it, they would surely be worth a lot of money. But most people, if they get YouTube videos for free, they watch the video, they don't take them too seriously. And that's why I think also basic publishing courses have the right to be. But Peter's course, it's not on, you can't compare them. The Trifecta is a advanced course, and most courses are basic courses, as I see it.
Actually, I'll just chip in a couple of words from someone who, I've consumed many hundreds of hours of YouTube videos on publishing, I suppose, over the last several months. And I'm literally only a few lectures into Trifecta, right? I haven't even hit the niche module yet. But what I would say, without giving away any of the content in the course, but I would say that the way that Peter has, it's very, very clear that the way that he has designed the frameworks that then basically give you the awareness. So when he actually hits the case study examples inside the course, and I won't unpack the detail, but there's one case study he does very early on that was honestly jaw-dropping, because what you're getting, because you'd look at the book, one of the books he's looking at, and you would say to yourself, actually, that book's pretty good. Yeah, that book should do well. But then when he unpacks why, what the flaws in the book are, keeping in mind the framework he's just delivered, right? Then you think, okay, right, wow, that's the kind of insight that can only come from someone who actually is a master of the craft, right? So honestly, I know, I hope I don't sound like I'm praising it too much, but honestly, I can see that, for me at least, it was absolutely worth the investment getting the course and having the exposure to people of this level of experience, because basically, if you don't get the foundation right 100% right from the start, I think, and I know from other activities I've done in my life in the past, then basically you can go down all sorts of wrong paths and actually waste a hell of a lot of time and money, frankly. And but yeah, that's my immediate impression. And I am in other courses which are good, but I can see that the quality level of this and the kind of mastery level of this is different, actually. So I think that's what I wanted to chip in. I hope that helps people who might be wondering.
Can I?
Okay.
So can I say something?
Yes, of course. Thank you,
I
Paul.
think. Can I say something, guys?
Yeah.
I think I'm I think I'm Peter's best friend in real life, and for me, it's not about the money and what he does. For me, I want to work with people who have their heart in the right place. Okay, to do people who are wants to help you he really wants to help you. He's not here for the money, and he has been helping me for 1.5 years, and I'm so thankful, and now he wants to help others. And I think I am one of the reasons he wants to do this, because he got that aha moment, like, okay, Ayhan is being successful, I can help others, understand? And that's the most important for me, is to learn from the best and work with people who have their heart in the right place. And Peter is a great person. I always tell him this: listen, guys, if I'm gonna give one person everything I have, everything, my properties, everything, and I will come back in 2 years, Peter is the only person I will do that for. Understand? And that's because he's a honest guy, and he really wants to help us. And that's the reason I've been doing this for 1.5 years, every day. So he's the right person to learn from. He's the best. Easy as that.
I'll add one thing, Peter. I've also taken a lot of courses, been around for a while, as you know that. I think what got my attention was there wasn't a lesson on how to make a book or how to fund it, or like some of the basic things were not in there. And I was like, that's different. And I think I messaged you. I was like, this isn't for beginners, is it? And you're like, no, not really. I was like, okay, this is cool. And so that was kind of the thing that stood out to me, was just, it's a different approach. And when I found your YouTube videos, I can't remember, somebody told me to look you up. Darian, I think, told me to look you up. And I watched one of your videos. I was like, this guy thinks a little differently. And I think that's when I reached out and connected with you. And I think that's the common theme that everybody said, is like, it's just a different way of approaching the business, right? It's not running away from a hyper competitive niche. It's finding how can you get into a hyper competitive niche completely differently than everyone else in order to dominate it. And that's what I've enjoyed going through it so far, man. So
I greatly appreciate everything that's been said. I'm speechless. Thank you very much.
And I have one more thing, guys. I'm happy that you guys are good. You're good people. That's my opinion, and I think you are great publishers. And I think this community will take all of us, even Peter, the best, to new levels. And that's why I'm doing this. So I'm looking forward to meet you guys more and more and more, and get to the next level.
Yeah, I can only agree that this is making me a better publisher, and seeing all the feedback. That's what I want to create, that feeling as well. It's a little bit of a mastermind in that sense, that we're all getting better, because who you surround yourself with is who you become. So if you surround yourself with people who know, then you will learn and you will improve.
One more thing for me. One more thing. I was watching Gerald's video for yesterday, and I'm a kind of person, I can read people like that. I can see, I can see who I have in front of me. I can, I work with people every day. I can see if a person is good, if there's, something sketchy. I can see right away, because eyes don't lie, understand? And when I saw, Peter sent me Gerald's video, look at this guy. And I said right away, this is a good guy. I can learn from this guy, because I know he's doing it from his heart, and that was the reason I was so happy when Gerald joined, because I was shocked. This is the guy I saw, So I'm happy to see you, Gerald, and I think this will be great for all of us.
Thank you, Ayhan. And also, I want to say also a few things. I have also been in the publishing world a few years, since 2017, and not as long as other people with more experience, but I've seen a lot of courses. I'm also a course creator myself in the Spanish market. And I remember meeting Peter in 2019. And I remember it was in an event in Lake Tahoe. And back then we had an event, we shared a lot of information. And we all said amongst ourselves, maybe we should have all kept quiet and just listened to Peter, because he was having the most results as in the event as an attendee. Because in the event, we were talking about publishing, but Peter was making more money than all of us as an attendee, right? And I thought, wow, that takes a lot of humility, but also the passion of mastery. Like when you're very good at something, but even then you learn from people that maybe are not making as much as you, but you still learn from them. And it's no surprise for me that when I saw many years later, like a YouTube video of Peter, the 4 million dashboard, I'm like, okay, it was no surprise. Like finally, Peter speaks. I always wanted to learn publishing from Peter's angle, right? And it's a very good opportunity what we have here. I'm
Yeah.
super happy to be able to be part of this. I do have some questions, though. I think also other people are thinking because I want to know until when does this open? I had already made my budget for December Q4, all the ad spend. I run low content, medium content books as well. So when is this open? And also, uh, you know, the process of getting in, is it just now? Will it be until when? More or less,
Uh,
And yeah, thank you guys, and thank you again for those words as well. I really appreciate them. Hope I can be of some use to you guys as well.
thank you very much. Thank you very much. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tim. I think it's open until Wednesday.
Like the calendar, I'm not sure. I think 27th, 28th. I think we launched on 21st and we close on 28th at 11:59 at night, basically. So 29th we are closed.
Okay. What was the second question there, Gerald? I lost.
So one question was until when is it open? And I guess, well, I guess the price and all of those terms, I guess you have to um, give your
Yeah.
details and talk with a representative, I guess, to get more details on price and stuff like that, right?
The way we handle it, so it's open, the first launch is open until the 29th, basically. And after that, you can still join the waitlist, but we will basically launch only in weekly phases. We have not yet a date for the next launch, but the application process is you basically land on the application page. Then we have this application form. You as a student would fill out this application form, answer some basic questions. You might also give us some more information about you. What are you most eager to learn or improve in self-publishing? What's the most important thing you want to gain from this community? What's your ultimate goal with self-publishing? After this qualification process, you instantly get either qualified or disqualified. If you're qualified, then you will be sent a link via email, which leads you to the checkout page. And then on the checkout page, you will find a buy button, basically, and another video telling you more information about all the features inside the community. And yeah, so you don't have to talk to a representative before. It's all handled via videos, basically.
Yeah, one thing I can add there, we were thinking, okay, are we going to have calls? But then it became a little bit too complicated. And then we read the survey that most people wanted it to be lower. So I thought, okay, I built it for, let's say, $4,000 to $5,000. I think that is what it's worth. But then I was thinking, okay, what if we do a crazy launch and we simply do it for a price which is affordable, especially for the information that you're getting. So that was the idea, and I'm building this with the mindset that I'm teaching is to look at things in the long term, because I have paid other people to add their lessons to the course. So this first launch, it's not about making money for us. We will not make money from this. It's about getting people in and then providing results for those people, and that is our main focus. So hopefully you watching, you take this opportunity, and I hope to see you inside, because this is I built it based on what I would have liked online. If I go back even a year from now, I would have liked this information, especially the support component and the community. It is a place where your success is less of a guesswork, and it is more. You can never guarantee anything, but I wanted to, as much as possible, remove the pitfalls that you might fall into, because there are a few pitfalls you can fall into, and there's no point in making the same mistakes that I've made, that other publishers have made. That's, in my mind, it's very inefficient. So by providing this solution, I am being more useful, and other people are able to use my knowledge as well and scale it on a completely different level. Okay, any final thoughts or anything people would like to add?
So what is the price for someone who is wondering?
It's someone put it in the chat. It's $9.97.
Okay.
Okay.
Peter, I thought it would be like 10-20K.
Yeah, don't worry, man.
That's why I was asking for Gerald actually.
Yeah, I know it's.
Bro, raise the price right now, bro.
I know. I know. Yeah. Well.
Oh man, that's a very generous price, Peter, and yeah, my respect to that, man. I'm saying this because of the knowledge you share. It's like, at least from my perspective, I've made so many KDP, some okay money, and I mean, I would consider maybe 10-20K for like I thought that was the price. I was like, oh man, I gotta maybe budget it into my ad spend for the Q4, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. That's why we're also saying, okay, it might be, we might cut it shorter depending on how many people join, because we want to make sure that we're able to provide value, and that's why we're also doing it in phases. So launch number 2, then yes, I am 99% sure that the price will be higher. Yes. Any final thoughts or questions? Okay, I think that will do it for this live stream. One last question. I'm worried that the Trifecta course is only for nonfiction and high content publishers. Do you have any proof case studies that the Trifecta works for medium and low content publishing? That is a good question. I am doing high content myself, but the framework, the way I see it, if I were doing low and medium content, it still works because it's based on principles. So you can easily complement any information that you might be missing. So definitely, if I were doing low and medium content, because I know that a lot of people who are doing that are trying to save money, then it does make sense that if I get this, I will have a competitive advantage, which will serve me very well. So those are my thoughts. Then we have one final question: how to check to worldwide copyright. Check worldwide copyright. I'm not sure I understand it. Is there anyone else who has any thoughts on this question? Does she mean for
maybe she's meaning something about trademark? I don't know.
For
the copyrighting books.
For images or for text? For images, there is copyright unless it's royalty free and or public domain. So I would need some more details on that question. Like European and US market, what are you checking copyright for? Both images and text. So the text, if you are generating the text, if you're writing the text, then you can check through plagiarism checks. There are some advanced ones. If you're checking images, I would do a Google image search. See, for example, if you're hiring someone on Fiverr, you want to see, okay, have they delivered this work to someone else, or are the images freely available on the internet? I would search via Google image search, do a reverse search like that. Do you have anything to add there, Gerald?
I do low and medium content. So I can help anyone in the community that they join and they would ask questions about that. I can help them out if they want. As part of like the community member, like I'll answer your questions there. I will join in a bit.
Okay, perfect. Aaron says, "What's up, Gerald?" I think we covered most of the questions, if not all. So that will do it for this live session. Thank you everyone on the Zoom, and thank you everyone live on YouTube as well. Take care. Best of luck in your publishing
Thank
journey.
you, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, take care. Have a good one.
Great meeting you guys. Take care.
Take care.
Bye.